Brent Todd takes out the Gold Coast Seagulls, their first match in the Tooheys Challenge for 1993. Brent Todd up front with Steve Jackson, and they'll be expected to lead the way from the engine room. Peacock at fullback, Martin, Vowles, Cook, Thorne, Weston, Davis, Jackson, Herring, Todd, Wolans, Bartram and Horsnell completes their lineup. And now the Canterbury-Bankstown side. And Terry Lamb in this team for the challenge tonight. He wasn't there for the Sevens last weekend, but the team is Scotty Wilson at fullback, Dallas, Darren Smith, McCracken, Doolan, Terry Lamb, McGrady, Bella, Peach, Brokenshire, Ralph, Gillies and Dimmick. Interesting lineup for the Canterbury side tonight. Mixture of experience and youth. And a team that's freely tipped by many to make the Winfield Cup semi-final, so that will be taken that they're going to also make their presence felt in the challenge. Martin Bella in new colours, blue and white of Canterbury these days for Marty Bella, and he should give them some good go forward, I believe. Wally Lewis there over in the background, the coach of Gold Coast, and David Manson is the man in charge of this match with Canterbury-Bankstown to kick off. They're running left to right. 4 20-minute quarters. That's young Weston, Craig Weston, talented young player. And he's got an interesting duel on his hands tonight as the kickoff takes place, and Todd it is that gets first touch of the ball for the Seagulls. Now it's Jackson. Jackson had a bit of territory in his days, but he's with the coast for a few years now.
You're right, we saw Wally Lewis, the Gold Coast coach. He'll be looking for a disciplined performance out there this evening. We know the Gold Coast have always been an entertaining team to watch. They throw the football around, but they do make mistakes at the wrong time. As that kick finds touch 31 metres out from the Canterbury line. And he'll be looking for some value in possession, kick the football intelligently, and they've started on the right foot.
First scrum of the match. Ewan McGrady it is that's going to feed it. Hanson unable to find fault there, or now he's found a knock on against McGrady. Davis gets his chance to feed the scrum. Now it's broken up, and he's given the differential penalty to the Gold Coast Seagulls. Penalise Canterbury for not holding that scrum square. Their responsibility being the defensive scrum. Hold the mark and hold the line. So Gold Coast with a good chance here. Jackson with a handoff. That's Herring, 9 metres out from the line. Bartram has gone to dummy half in 12. A cross through Weston, and this is Cook now. Herring again, they continue to work right. Brent Todd got a pass away. Oh, that's a good tackle. Canterbury duo of Terry Lamb and Simon Gilly. Now from Davis across to Weston. And he's ruled that he passed the ball forward to Darren Wolans.
Nice play by the Coast. They spread it out one way, looking for a gap. When they came back the other, they just held that pass up too long. Well, it's probably slightly forward. Manson in a good position to see that one.
And no doubt the Gold Coast are looking to Craig Weston to direct their play. He's moved into the first receiver inside Ali Davies. And big hopes for Weston, of course, taking over from Wally Lewis. Very big boots to fill for the Coast.
And Terry Lamb's lost this ball cold and in the tackle, and Manson has spotted it. So Gold Coast, another chance if they get possession from this scrum. Terry Lamb just lost in the tackle.
Second attempt at getting a clean scrum in this game, and a penalty goes to Canterbury. Penalty to Canterbury, and it's against the Gold Coast halfback for an incorrect feed. Now that's the turnover rather than the penalty. There's Ralph, who Canterbury 21's President's Cup 2 years ago. Played some top grade last year. Another penalty, this time against the Gold Coast inside the 5. So Manson's getting plenty of use out of this whistle as McGrady comes across to try and find the line. Midway between the 20-metre line and the halfway. And McGrady's kick is a good one, finding it just a couple of metres short of the Gold Coast 40-metre line. Broken sheer. Chris Anderson, the Canterbury coach, again in 1993. Simon Gillies getting it down towards the 20-metre line. Grady, long ball for Lamb, now for McCracken. He's the man that really the Gold Coast are going to have to try and contain. Darren Smith running freely down inside the 20 and the 10. Bumps his way over the last couple of metres, but he's put a foot into touch.
Well, a great break there from the Canterbury team, and even though Jared McCracken didn't make the bust, it was his very quick play of the ball that allowed Darren Smith to get down the blind side. Some good cover defence there. Put Smith in just before that in-goal post, and that was a try-saver.
Scrum out on the 10-metre line. This is Martin. Bartram. Good strong tackle there by Martin Bella. Brent Todd. Work rate is very high these days. Bushnell. Herring is the dummy half. He wears the 9 shirt for the Seagulls. Weston puts it down the ground, and now our first sight of Scotty Wilson in the Canterbury colours. Formerly with Souths, left there in controversial circumstances, went to the Bears. Now young Doolan plays the ball near the halfway mark. Gillies.
And of course, with Scott Wilson in the Canterbury team, that allows Ewan McGrady to slot back into the halfback role. He played so successfully a couple of seasons ago. As Canterbury again go wide, McCracken steps inside a high tackle. It certainly takes some putting down this big centre. McGrady, and I think McGrady much more dangerous at halfback, closer to the action, and stuck out on the wing as we saw him a couple of times last year.
This is Jim Dimmick. Dimmick with Canterbury now. He left the Western Suburbs Magpies along with Bobby Linder and Andrew Farrer. Dimmick himself, a former South Sydney player, now with the Canterbury-Bankstown side. They've got a nice blend, haven't they? Bunch like Bella and Gillies, Lamb, and then of course the sprinkling of youngsters in and around them. Young Dallas out on the wing, and this is a turnover. Wilson. Geordie Peets loses his mouth guard as he met the full brunt of that tackle. Now McGrady turning it back inside for Dimmick. 25 metres out from the line. McGrady, Lamb, run around for McGrady. That's made the extras, but the pass was a little bit flash, really. It was a bit hard for McCracken, a bit high too. Just watching David Manson giving his indications on the scrums. He's giving a different indication. Here's that face ball, too much for McCracken, too high.
Good defence by Vowles too.
He's going to make the point that Manson is giving a different instruction to the spectators and the players, as opposed to, say, Bill Harrigan the other night. He's actually giving the indication of a penalty, then ordering the turnover. Let me make it very clear that that does not count as a penalty if, in fact, a turnover is ordered in the scrum.
So, a penalty awarded here. The referee ruling.
That's for sure.
There was a shepherd in the Gold Coast attack there. Todd taking the ball forward. Well, I didn't see too much wrong with that.
Well, there was no one taken out, was there? I mean, one of the Canterbury players actually tackled a Gold Coast player without the ball, and he wasn't impeded at all.
Canterbury now with a chance. Saw Bella. He took it up, and he didn't take it up with a great deal of gusto. He paid the penalty, Another good shoulder charge from the Seagulls on Brokenshire. To the blind for Terry Lamb. Dimmick ran decoy. Scott Wilson got into a bit of space. And a knock-on eventuates for Canterbury. Lamb getting up slowly.
Well, here we see the final part of that play. Scott Wilson losing the football, looking to pick up his winger, who was unmarked on the outside. We have one of the Gold Coast players now called out. As there's Scott Wilson making half a break. The Gold Coast player spoken to, that have been a high shot. My first and final comment on these scrums, Ray. We see there's the ball popping out. No doubt a knock on there by the Canterbury team. We've seen quite a few penalties already and a couple of handovers. I think in every rugby league scrum that is set, you can find an infringement. And that's a dangerous thing, and we are seeing a lot more penalties in the game. I'm not a fan, as you can tell.
Terry Cook. Forced back under the defence of McCracken and McGrady. Now Horsnell. Weston. Scott Wilson getting across with Doolan, the winger, now obliged to take the ball back. Wallens was inside the 10. That's a penalty straight up to Canterbury. Inside the 10 metres after being in front of the kicker. And 0-0 between the Gold Coast and Canterbury midway through the first half.
Giving the toss there with David Manson, but they were inside that 10 metres. Not a bad kick from Weston. The best kick he's put in so far. Big boots to fill in for the King Wally Lewis, who had one of the best kicking games ever. But Weston doing a good job so far.
To Martin Bella now taking up for Canterbury, and with a bit of gusto that time round. Got a real big hit the last time we went up, and look at this Brokenshire now. He goes down hard. So the Gold Coast tackling pretty well at the moment. Canterbury now, line nice and deep, goes through McEwen and Lamb. Comes out wide though. It'll be picked up by Dallas, but rolls over the touch. So Gene Miles, some good defence already from the Gold Coast. Danny Peacock in particular has made two really good tackles.
Yeah, Darryl, as expected, the game has started at 100 miles an hour, and the defence from both sides has been tremendous. But I noticed that Canterbury has picked a weakness already in the Gold Coast side, in the blind side down here. We noticed Terry Lamb made a great run before, and also Darren Smith. So they've obviously discovered a weakness out here.
Gold Coast, Paul, I've got to ask you, big fella, you're missing the game?
Yeah, I certainly am. I suppose I'm as close as I'll ever get back to the field as I am here tonight.
Nice to have you with us. Canterbury, of course, last year in the first round went down to South Sydney, and the Gold Coast walloped Eastern Suburbs on this very ground in the first round of the Tooheys Challenge last year. So Gold Coast would like to repeat their performance, and Canterbury would certainly like to go one better than they did last time round. So Gold Coast now starting to throw it around again. Half break there, but the Canterbury defence comes in and meets them pretty quickly. Terry Cook's been pretty quick, but he's hurt and can't get up quickly. The referee will... Oh no, he's going to play. No, he can't play the ball. He'll get somebody else to play it. Now he plays it. Trainer's on.
He's got a lot of ability, Terry Cook. He's in Gargars at the moment. He must cop a bump in this tackle because he doesn't know where he is. Got one there. I think a swinging arm came in. But I know that Wally's got a lot of faith in Terry Cook's ability, and he's looking for a big year from him to lead this back line. Well,
we saw him on a couple of occasions last year, Paul, as an attempted charge down there, forces the ball over the touchline at halfway line. He runs onto the ball very well, Cook, and runs into the hole particularly well. We see the first replacement standing up off the bench. Yeah, that's Troy McCarthy. Certainly got a name to live up to and a great likeness to his father, one of the best Australia has produced. And there's Cook making his way across to the sideline.
So Gold Coast ball again. Their big, long, looping, floating pass, trying to link up with the fast man on the outside, with this Canterbury defence coming through pretty quickly and just bustling the Gold Coast centre field. Look at this defence from Canterbury now, driving back 4 or 5 metres. Bartram. Davies looking to set up the play, but the Gold Coast have really got nowhere to run. Each side of the ruck is well covered by Canterbury. Davies shapes to kick but doesn't. Going to the fence holes from Canterbury. Stiff tackle. Weston. High ball.
Bless Terry Cook diving on the football there. He hasn't been replaced. They've obviously given him time to get his faculties back together. That looks to be the case. The referee rules that the Gold Coast knocked that football on. Canterbury gained possession just outside their 20-metre line.
So Robert Ralph plays it for Canterbury. It comes out to Brokenshire. He unloads nicely. McGrady shows it. Darren Smith made a good break earlier in play, 4 or 5 minutes ago, down the touchline, only to be taken out by Danny Peacock with a good tackle. But Smith showed us he's got plenty of pace. Lamb.
Okay, here we go.
Puts the ball over the Gold Coast defence, picked up by Peacock. Peacock runs the ball back well.
He's a very good runner of the football. He's been the shadow Queensland fullback for a couple of years, as now the replacement has been made. Troy McCarthy on for Terry Cook. But back to Peacock, his defence, he's already pulled off a couple of good tackles, and he'll be challenging for that Queensland State of Origin fullback spot in a few weeks' time.
Brent Todd, centre field, 2 or 3 metres short of the halfway line, still in their own territory. Cuts out Jackson this time. Nice ball back inside though. Beautiful ball back inside, and Davies links up too. He flicks one out the back door, but there's no one there to take it, so Canterbury come up with possession. Probably a chance gone well and truly begging for the Coast.
I mean, that was some great play by the Coast. The first clean break we've seen made all game, but they messed it up in the end through some very slack play. It was a beautiful inside ball from Wolans onto McCarthy. He's been on there 4.5 seconds, and away he goes. Davies on the inside backing up, didn't have the pace. A good tackle from Smith. Why, oh, why did he throw that ball?
And that's what I was talking about early on. Some entertaining play from the Gold Coast all the way through last year. But the final pass going to ground there, it wasn't the last tackle, so there was no need to keep the ball alive. And some simple possession handed over to Canterbury. Terry Lamb looking to capitalise, and does.
Lamb with a bust now, flicks it back inside for Scotty Wilson. Scotty Wilson taken midway between the half and the quarter. The Coast into the ground. They're still coming back. McGrady now. McGrady slips out of one. Tries to unload, doesn't, turns back inside now to McCracken. Cracken with a loose pass, cleaned up by Canterbury. But the referee says we'll pull up play.
Some very good scrambling defence there from the Gold Coast team. They look to have numbers, but a beautiful ball from McGrady, as was that one from Terry Lamb. Found Scott Wilson, and you see the referee signalling the last tackle. Canterbury deciding to run the football. Ewan McGrady held the ball up long enough to put McCracken into a hole. And as I said, good scrambling defence from the Gold Coast. They've been under pressure a couple of times in their own quarter, and they've done fairly well in a tight situation.
So the Coast now through Weston will kick. It'll come straight down to Scott Wilson. Pretty busy night for Wilson already. And Weston, they've both been heavily involved. There's Doolan. Canterbury just grafting their way down to the halfway line and get the penalty. Waving the Coast back on side.
They're really poor penalties to give away. We've seen 2 or 3 tackles committed by the Gold Coast team. Wally Lewis certainly wouldn't be happy with that. You give possession over once again, and you have more tackling to do. Might not hurt now, but later in the game when the fatigue starts to set in, you'll pay the penalty.
Well, now Canterbury just outside the 20-metre line, so in good field position. Chance here for the Dogs. Comes into to Bella. Bella out of one. Gets inside that 20-metre line with a good run there. Made about 5 or 6 hard yards. Comes through to Lamb. Lamb flicks it outside. Comes on to Scotty Wilson. Wilson taken 10 metres out. Canterbury through to Lamb. Now McGrady. Drop the ball though. Regather. So that scrum will pack around about 18 metres out from the coastline.
Darren Wolans there in a bit of trouble. He's one of the best front-on defenders in the game today. Just, I think he hit the ground a bit hard, and he's got a bit of claret coming from the old bugle there.
Gene Miles.
Yeah, mate, he was certainly putting his body on the line there, Darren Williams. He made a blue early, and he was trying to make up for it and tried to make 3 or 4 tackles in a row, and certainly he's put his head in the wrong position there.
Trainer out, obviously having a look at the snout. A little bit of claret coming out of there. A replacement coming on for the Gold Coast. That's Paul Galea. Wearing jumper 17. And McCarthy, who hasn't been on that long, but he's certainly getting involved with the game. There's no doubt about that.
Well, all the play has been down this end of the field. It is 0-0, so they've done a good job, the Coast. Very dangerous players in the Canterbury team. We're into the final minute and a half now. The Coast will be fairly happy after absorbing that pressure to go in, not behind on the scoreboard. And I'll certainly be looking to get a lot of the penalties out of their game that have put them under pressure.
So Weston again using the boot and gaining what territory he can. Gets past Scotty Wilson. He's got to chase it back to just a couple of metres off his own line. Wilson brings it back. Now you bring him down on the 20-metre line.
Paddy, the chase from the Gold Coast have been very good. I know they've given one penalty away, but they seem to have got that part of their game well organised.
Well, I'll tell you what they've got still. If nothing else, they've got a lot of enthusiasm in the camp today. They're playing a very basic game, just forward hit-ups, not using the back line a great deal, but they're going pretty well. And they said their chasing game has been very good.
To Canterbury now, with the time running out in this first quarter. Midway between the half a quarter, they're into the ground.
Well, you'd think Terry Lamb would be looking up at the clock here, maybe put a little one over the top. Well, there's a kick. It's only going to find touch, and all that he's going to do is wind down time. The Canterbury quite happy to go in after this first quarter in the situation that they are.
Well, 1 second on the clock, so one last play in the game in the first quarter. Is he going to let it go? Yes, he is. Taking down the scrum. No, he's pulled it up. The siren's yet to go off. The clock's run out.
Yeah, the clock has run off. The siren hasn't gone, so the referee, David Manson, has called play.
That's the fatty siren.
And he's heard you. He's called time off.
That's not a bad siren, Fatty. Another little go at that.
There it is, folks. Quarter time.
The score in the first quarter, no score on the board from the Gold Coast or Canterbury. The siren courtesy of Fatty Vorton. And it's pretty hot and humid up here. It's not as bad as one would think this time of the year in Brisbane. Both sides elected to stay out onto the ground and get what breeze there is. Wally Lewis, of course, looking after the Coast at the moment, is out on the ground at the moment. We'll take a break, be back shortly with all the action from the second quarter. Stay with us.
Quarter of the action between the Gold Coast Seagulls and Canterbury-Bankstown. No score on the board. There's the stats out of the first quarter.
Yes, a couple of different statistics favouring both teams there. The scrum handovers mean that Canterbury have had 2 extra possessions to probably what they would have had. Missed tackles favour the Gold Coast. Their line's only been busted twice. Remember, Darren Smith and Lamb have busted, and those 7 misses probably came out of those 2 particular breaks. And the errors, well, Canterbury, they made quite a few more than the opposition, 7-2. And that has nullified any opportunity that Canterbury had to capitalise on those extra possessions.
Let's go down to Gene Miles on the sideline.
Yeah, Ray, Wally was quite impressed with that first 20 minutes. He gave his props a very big rep for taking them forward. And he's just a little bit concerned about them zigzagging across the field. If they're going to go one way, he wants to continue that one way in attack.
Gene Miles joining us for this double-header at the Tooheys Challenge of 1993.
And that's really a poor start by the Gold Coast. The kick landed just about on the goal line and nobody got in position to catch the ball on the full. That gave the opposition chase probably an extra 20 metres, and now they're forced to take the ball out from well in their own 20-metre line. They've sacrificed a lot of yards there.
This is Bartram. Beautiful tackle, but a penalty. Gee, Manson's working overtime. I said it earlier with the whistle. The match hasn't really been able to break into a flow. Been stop-start. Weston. Such a class about this kid, Weston, and one of the things that I've noticed just in this 20 minutes, keeping in mind we've seen him right through last year, like most good players, he's got plenty of time to do things. That's Galea.
It's probably as good a test as he's going to get tonight during the season, facing Terry Lamb. Lamb knows all the tricks in the book. He had a marvellous season. He's playing injured most of it last year. And he's going to work this kid out. He's going to put plenty of pressure on him. If Craig Weston can come through this initiation and handle the job pretty easily for the rest of the season. As the Gold Coast keep the ball alive, they've looked very good with the football in their hands.
Vowles now. He plays it 22 metres out from the Canterbury line. Davis puts it in the air, but it's really a nothing kick. He tries to regather himself. Scott Wilson's got it. Dallas. Only young, but loads of potential. McGrady, McCracken. Good defence by that fellow from the Gold Coast, Vowles. He's made a couple of front-on tackles that had to be made, and McCracken's not easy to stop. Marty Bella. Now Dimmick.
Putting plenty of sting into the defence, the Gold Coast. It's good to see early in the season. And Canterbury are being made to pay for every metre they gain as that kick goes out in the full. A big mistake against Canterbury.
I think one of the good things about their defence, Paul, is they're getting up very quickly. Ray was talking about the defence on McCracken. Every time he catches the football, Vowles is in his face. He's there not letting the Canterbury team get any great momentum, and they're doing very well. Now they have to keep it up for 80 minutes, of course. I suppose that's made a little bit easier by the fact they get a break every 20.
Here's a good opportunity for them, Big Jackson.
He's had a good game, Jackson, I'll tell you, the first 25 metres. He's been in everything. So's this man, Brent Todd.
10 metres out from the line. Todd is brought down. Herring goes into dummy half, plays in the centre of the park. Davis, Weston, holds it back for Martin coming from the right flank. He's tackled about 5 metres out from the line. Away now from McCarthy. Weston with a short ball, but it was forward. Manson rules the pass forward, and he'll put a scrum down about 8 metres away from the Canterbury line.
The second time we've seen one of Craig Weston's passes ruled forward. They're nearly line ball decisions, but unfortunately the referee has called against him on both occasions. The Gold Coast, as we pointed out, they've looked very enterprising with the football. The big men are taking the hard yards. They're certainly not prepared to die with the football in the back line when they get the opportunity. Just got to get their timing a little bit better. Well, that's using the referee as a shepherd. He's got away with it, McGrady. And McCracken takes the football in the 5'8" position.
Now, Manson has found that one of the Gold Coast players has done something wrong in the tackle. It's young Bartram that he's calling over. You might have a look at the tackle. It was a 3-man tackle, and McCracken's on the end of it. A little swinging arm, little swinging right arm, but gee, it was only a...
Not even worth worrying about that.
No, it was only a powder puff.
Turn it up. Just let him get up and play the ball and get on with the game.
30 metres out from their own line. The Bulldogs really being made to do it hard here against Gold Coast. Of course, as we've come to realise since four-quarter football was invented back in 1974, it's a great leveller. And we saw that Cronulla, they weren't overawed by the occasion against Penrith. In fact, they outground them, they outmuscled them, and they got the money back at Parramatta midweek. And now we're watching Gold Coast in a similar brand of football, making it very hard for Canterbury. Scrum just outside the 40-metre grid line. Davis to work it. No score. This is a tight one. Plenty of big money around, though, made possible by Tooheys. Why wouldn't they be tight games? What is it? 700,000 in all in prize money being distributed. Now Robin Thorne, formerly played with Canterbury, if memory serves me correctly. Away from Herring, Davis, and now it's out with Horsnell. Herring again. Todd. McCarthy getting a short pass. Back for Todd. Down towards the 20-metre line. Big fella asked to play it now. Herring. Davis. Weston. This is the last. Jackson. Big fella. Putting it in the air. It's a pretty good bomb too, but Scott Wilson, he did magnificently back in the end goal. Speeds it out to the 22 for a quick restart.
He did well there, Wilson. And he's got up to the 20-metre line very quickly. Under a little bit of pressure there because McGrady was in front of him, and I don't think there was any great call between the two. Not a bad kick from Steve Jackson, probably a little bit deep. Didn't allow his runners to arrive there as the ball was coming down. He probably had more pressure by his own man than any defender coming through.
Brokenshire, front rower for Canterbury, is coming off. Mark Brokenshire. And this is the replacement on for Canterbury in jumper number 16, Gavin Hill, New Zealand international. Terry Lamb got a bad pass. Now McCarthy.
He must be unlucky not to be in the starting line, Hill, because from what we saw last year, he was probably one of their most consistent forwards in that front row area. And probably he and Martin Bella will battle out for a spot. Bella, to me, has looked fairly pedestrian at this stage. Maybe the heat's having an effect on the big man.
Here's Weston. Wrapped up by Gavin Hill, a three-man tackle involving Dimmick and also Gillies. Todd swamped into the ground by Bella. Herring, a short ball up for Jackson. Jackson runs a little angle, picks up young Galea. Galea gets a pass away, but it's intercepted by the flying Ewan McGrady. He decides to try and swerve around them.
Once again, the Gold Coast, promising break made there by the Coast. The last pass has gone astray again. If they can hang on to this ball in those situations, work it away again for another couple of tackles. Beautiful ball from Jackson. And the last pass intercepted by McGrady.
This is Gillies.
Unusual to see Terry Lamb was the man who just missed a one-on-one tackle there.
Dimmick.
Good tactics by the Gold Coast to keep the ball alive, especially on the fringe of the ruck. You notice that most of the time Ewan McGrady will play in the second line of defence. Not a lot of halfbacks in Sydney do that now, but he is one man who plays as a sweeper probably 80% of the time.
Terry Lamb resorts to the air. A real test here. Young Dallas went right up above them, but it's a penalty to the Gold Coast. His real Dallas was in front of the kicker.
Well, they had plenty of time. There's no way that he's offside at all.
No way in the world is he offside.
He was well onside. And unlucky for the Canterbury because they got it back, could have even scored there. But Manson has made it blue.
Weston finding the line. 30 metres out from his own. And the penalty's at 4-4.
That's certainly one of the situations where you think that the referee could call on the touch judge to give him some assistance. Wasn't far from where the chase was being made. The referee was a long, long way away, and really the perfect opportunity for the touch judge to have some influence on what was a very important play. Dallas did a marvellous job to climb high. So did Danny Peacock, came up with the tackle. But it was a try-scoring opportunity.
So what would happen there, Pete? Would the touch judge say, listen, Dave, you made a mistake. He was onside. Let's play on. Is that allowed to happen?
Well, I must admit, I'm not sure of the rule, but he must be able to look at the touch judge and get some sort of indication for him. Well, that's a great kick from the Gold Coast as to whether the man was onside or not in the chase.
Well, off the boot of young Weston, it finds the line way down near the corner post. Still no score in this match between the Gold Coast and Canterbury in the second of our Tooheys Challenge matches tonight.
Steven Seagal, Under Siege in the year's hottest new movie, Sunday.
Come on, punk! Oh, I know what you're thinking. Mine's bigger than yours, right?
He's on 9 in Hard to Kill.
Now's the time.
Then Monday, he's above the law.
You're not even a good cop. Really?
A Steven Seagal action double over 2 big nights.
No kidding.
Hard to Kill and Above the Law, 8:30 Sunday and Monday on 9.
It'll be much better if I get my meds. I won't be a moment.
Next time you make love, make sure your mates are there. Mates condoms. The Kings of the Sport return to Willowbank this Saturday night for the final round of the Castrol New Year Series. Glenn Micros from the US is locked in battle with Aussie champ Jim Reed for Winfield Top Fuel Championship points in a 4-car fiery Top Fuel blast. Plus European champ Steve Reed in a star-studded 230-mile-an-hour Top Alcohol showdown. Final round of the Castrol Series Saturday night at Willowbank. Qualifying from noon, first round of Top Fuel at 6. Bring the family.
Queensland's favourite home builder, G.J. Gardner Homes, now offers new house and land packages. All brick and tile homes from $156 per week, house and land. Or built on your land from $65 per week. This is a strictly limited offer. From the Gold Coast to Brisbane, Sunshine Coast to Wide Bay, and to Gladstone in the north. Don't wait. Contact your nearest G.J. Gardner Homes display.
Take on a tough job in tough country, and you usually have to get there on all fours. But when that's not enough, you just have to use your muscle. That's why there's a whole range of Mitsubishi Tritons with all the muscle of a big V6. And if you can't rely on a big V6 with four-wheel drive to get you there, who can you rely on?
Here's an offer too good to pass up. Trade in your old mower, working or not, on a new Victor at Harvey Norman, and we'll give you a guaranteed $20 to $60 trade-in. This offer won't last, so hurry.
Hey, 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 Harvey Norman.
The kicking game from the Gold Coast team has been pretty good tonight. They've found touch on a couple of occasions. This one being set only 10 metres out from the Canterbury try line. Wouldn't the Gold Coast love one of these handover situations? Gene Miles, Gold Coast fairly attractive here, and they've got the ball against the feed.
So the Coast now attacking just let's say 7 or 8 metres out from the line. Big chance here for them, but they haven't been able to hold on to the last couple of passes as Bartram's brought down. He's back for Herring, shovels it out now for Ali Davies. Good ball on for Weston. Weston wrapped up by McCracken though. Back inside again, the big men are coming through with this defence. Oh, they slip a little ball away for Jackson. Jackson gets a couple of metres out. Now they go the other way. Davies turned it back for Brent Todd. Couldn't be taken though, so Canterbury come up with possession. Gene Miles, the Coast just can't finish it off.
Yeah, well, up until that drop ball, Darryl, they were following Wally Lewis' instructions to the tee. You know, that they were taking the ball one way. The big guys were taking it around, and then all of a sudden, you know, they find themselves with an open paddock out wide, and you know, up until that discrepancy then, that they were doing it exactly.
Well, Scotty Wilson down at the moment.
Been a play called out. It was Brett Horsnell. Was something that happened in the tackle. A caution to Horsnell with Brent Todd there looking on. Wilson looks like he'll be okay. And here's the incident coming up now. Wilson, Horsnell over the top, looked like a swinging arm somewhere there in the tackle. Yeah. And the goal, and Canterbury taking a quick tap.
For Canterbury now, work play just outside the 20-metre line. It comes on to McCracken. McCracken winds up, but this defence has met McCracken. Replacement coming back, which was Troy Castle, 15. Canterbury now, centre field.
I mentioned on Wednesday night, Darryl, the centre's being caught on the wrong side. They were very fortunate there at the Gold Coast. It's only now that Voles has got back and he's made that good tackle on Jared McCracken. A couple of plays there, Canterbury did have a shot with both centres on the same side of the field. Another mistake from Canterbury. Terry Lamb not having the happiest of nights. He still looks very dangerous, but he has made a couple of uncharacteristic errors.
Not like the Terry Lamb that we know.
This Terry has missed 4 or 5 tackles tonight, dropped the ball, and he's just off his game at this stage, but he's the best player Canterbury's got.
One of the best players the game's got.
Yeah, great player.
For Robin Thorne.
Oh, that's a great hit.
Straight back now. And Canterbury now through Scott Wilson. Scotty Wilson takes play midway between the half and the quarter. Still there into the ground, the doggies.
Well, Darren
comes
Smith
on to
here.
Bella.
Look at Darren Smith just come in and went whooshka. And down went McCarthy. That's a great tackle.
Bella plays it back, looking for plenty of runners to come through Canterbury. But this defence of the Gold Coast, I mean, as Doolan gets up to make a couple of more metres. It really has been swarming. There's 1 and 2 and 3 players every time one of the danger men from Canterbury get the ball. They're really defensively right on target tonight, the Coast. Lamb throws it round for McGrady. McGrady flung around, throws a loose one. It'll be picked up by the Coast. Herring will jump on it for the Gold Coast. So again, Canterbury squandered possession. They give it back to the Coast, and now they're offside, and the Coast will get a penalty and some more metres.
Well, McGrady put in a terrible pass there. Just he doesn't look positive in his play, McGrady. Doesn't seem to want to run with the football, and when that happened, they were caught offside. And the Gold Coast, if they keep mounting this pressure, they've got a very good short passing game, the Coast. Wally's obviously done a lot of work in the off-season on that, maybe using the pads at training, and a lot of short balls being passed, and they're finding a few gaps with them. Good kick from Western too. Sixth on coming up, that's Robert Tocco. Wearing the headgear in 16, waiting to come on. We'll see who's going to come off.
Well, that's a big mistake there from Brent Todd. He knows it is as well. Only got 5.5 minutes before the half-time break. That was the first tackle in what was to be a very dangerous set of 6 from the Coast, but the ball just popped out. Big let-off there for the Bulldogs. And Todd's been replaced straight away, getting his first break for the game.
So McGrady to feed for Canterbury, trying to get out of trouble again. They've spent a lot of time in this end of the ground, Fatty.
And they've done well probably to hang on. It's only the Gold Coast can't put a set of 6 together. They seem to lose the ball on 4th or 5th and turn over in possession to Canterbury. But they stayed in the game, the Bulldogs.
Paul Doolan wearing 5 for the Bulldogs has been busy, hasn't he? He's come off his wing a number of times to try and run the ball out, relieve the pressure on the forwards. A little bit of push and shove in centre field, nothing wrong with that. Big tap again, Lamb now. Gets it out very, very quickly to Dimmock. The Coast get possession back. Well, it's a case of dropsies tonight. As soon as one side looks to get set, down goes the ball, and we don't see the 6 played out. Davies. Coast bunch at the moment. Now they start to get their act together and line out a little bit deeper. Herring. Jackson's really tried to get the side revved up, no doubt about that. Every time they've been in a tight situation, he's the first one to run up and try and grab the ball.
I think he's been their best player, Steve Jackson, along with Craig Weston. But Jackson has offloaded at will, and he's made good metres whenever he's taken the ball up. He's inspiring them to good things tonight.
Davies again, this time just a little grubber kick. Tries to get him behind, they tow it through. Taken, though, by Scott Wilson for Canterbury. So Canterbury hang on again with just the minutes ticking away. 3:32 in this quarter remaining. Well, Gene, you know, what are the Coast? Should the Coast maybe just concentrate on more of that little chip in behind the Canterbury defence? It wasn't a bad one, almost come off.
Yeah, it was good, but they haven't held on to the ball for 6 for a long time, and that's why they haven't been able to do those sort of things. Probably a few little chips and grubbers like that might break up the Canterbury defence, but on the other hand, the Gold Coast defence has been great. Apart from one early break by Smith and a good run by Lamb, they haven't got into open space, and Wally must be pretty happy going into the half-time break. Wouldn't you think so, Gene?
Yeah, Fatty, I think this is a dangerous period for both teams. You know, looking at them from down here, they are very tired and looking forward to the break. So, you know, I think one of the sides will come up with a try before half-time.
Great take then by Herring too. Up he went. Or was it Jackson? It may have been. Jim. It's a good take though, under plenty of pressure. So the Coast now with a chance with just 2.5 minutes on the clock before the break. They raid away again.
He's gone all right too, Vowles. I'll give you the tip. He's smashed McCracken every time McCracken's got the ball. Made a very good run there and beat McCracken in the tackle.
Look for Weston to Davies. Davies shows the ball, makes the 20-metre line. Galea goes into dummy half. Davies is hurt. That'll be a shame. I think it's probably just a knock as McCarthy puts one up. Too big though.
Yeah, not a good kick there from McCarthy. Looking to put the ball across the ruck to the other side of the ruck, and just too deep by McCarthy. And this is easy easy work for Canterbury now. They get the ball on their own 20-metre line. As Davies down injured, a bit of a trouble with an ankle there.
It'd be a shame if he's hurt that, then he can't really go on with it, because he's one of their key players, no doubt about that. He looks okay as he jogs back. So Canterbury now in perhaps a minute and a half. Can they work play down and put some points on the board? Still both sides yet to post a point. Comes on a McCracken. If somebody can make a break, it's McCracken, but they've been on him all night. Wrap him up. Comes out for Bella. Bella goes forward. In they come and swamp him again. Martin Bella doing it pretty tough here tonight through this Gold Coast defence. Out for Lamb. He'll look for McGrady. McGrady shows it. Turns it back inside to Scott Wilson, who has been everywhere tonight for Canterbury. But the Coast come up with possession now with 51 seconds left on the clock. And just into Canterbury territory. Cross for Weston. Weston hulls it back. Now gets it onto Davies. That ankle's okay. Accelerates through Davies. Nice little break. Can't link up though at the last second. It falls down again.
And there you go again. I mean, they've made a great break down the left-hand side. The breaks have been few and far between tonight. And Davies put the speed on a bung ankle and everything. Away he went. Half by Shepherd there, but away he goes. McCracken comes at him, grabs him, and tries to throw the one-hander into Peacock, but it went to the ground again.
So this scrum packs out 30 metres out from the Canterbury line, fed by McGrady. Again, he's pulled it up, though. The hooter is gone. So at the break, still yet a score to be posted on this board. So it's been a really tight, hard, dour struggle from both sides. The Coast certainly making the most of the breaks, but not being able to hang on to those last couple of passes. Canterbury, they've tried hard, but they haven't had much territorial advantage in the Gold Coast half. Back shortly with all the action for you. No score from Lang Park.
Premiering 7:30 Monday, experience the very best of Torval and Dean.
Their sheer brilliance stunned audiences all over the world.
The world's most spectacular ice dancers in a unique TV special.
It was really our own personal goals and challenges that kept us going.
Feel the drama and excitement. See the beauty and grace.
Just look at that!
The most famous moments performed by the celebrated Masters of the Ice. A premiere special, Torval and Dean. Simply the best. 7:30 Monday on 9.
Can't shift it. Hang on, mate.
Keep him back.
Right, get back. Hope you know what you're doing.
Go!
Beauty!
Keen G. Any tougher, they'd rust.
Right now at Laguna Keys Resort, you can stay in the luxury of the 5-star Golf Lodge or a 2-bedroom hillside terrace condominium. 3 nights for just $501 per person twin share. Or 6 nights for just $773 per person twin share. Both offers include east-west return airfares from Brisbane. Fly in now because this offer ends March 31st. Phone East West Holidays for details.
Nobby! Kitchens, Nobby Kitchens, prices are falling.
And falling fast, John. Don't pay $6,000 now, drop to $3,500. All Nobby Kitchens are Australian made and have a full 5-year written warranty. Nobby quality solid timber kitchens. Don't pay $8,000, prices have fallen to $5,000. Nobby for over 50 years, Australia's #1 kitchen manufacturer. Nobby Kitchens, Annerley, Aspley and the Gold Coast, 848-8288. Open 7 days.
Nobby, prices are falling. You've been nuts to miss it.
Look, what about this broken aerial? I gotta make a call.
We better have a yarn to Buster.
Buster?
He's the telecom mobile net dealer at Karratha. He'll fit us with a new one.
Telecom mobile net dealer. Out here?
He's one of 700 all over Australia.
G'day, mate.
How you going, Buster?
Oh, what have you done to your aerial? Who would bother to have a dealer out here?
We would, Chucky. We would.
Telecom Mobile Net. We're talking Australia's own.
Welcome back to Lang Park, where we have a very close scoreline. Well, that is an understatement. 0-0 at half-time between the Gold Coast and Canterbury in a game, Gene Miles, of 40 minutes really punctuated by penalties and errors.
Yeah, I don't think the coaches will be too impressed. Too much ball being coughed up on the first tackle, but we've got to think this is their first game of the season. They're very keen, very eager to put the big hits on it, and obviously the ball's been coughed up.
Well, both teams have had some opportunities, and early in the game it was Canterbury who made the first bust. You identified, Gene, that they saw some weakness in the blind side of the Gold Coast defence.
Yeah, well, I noticed that Terry Lamb and also Ewan McGrady were stacking the blind side, the left-hand side of Canterbury's attacking side. And as we saw then, that Darren Smith made a great bust from dummy half and caught the Gold Coast defence on that short side.
Quite a few breaks have been made in the game, and really overall probably the Gold Coast have had the best chances, but again that last pass we've spoken about so many times, they make the good bust, but the last pass goes to ground, and we saw that probably their best break in the game, Ali Davis flicking out the back.
Yeah, well, Steve Jackson and also Brent Todd took them forward really well, and then obviously the breaks were coming, and we saw Ali Davis make this great break, and unfortunately once again it is that last pass. Had he gone to ground, there was 2 more tackles to go, the Gold Coast would have put the ball over the line, I feel.
Well, Canterbury have gone into this game definite favourites. Do you get the feeling that the longer the game goes with that kind of scoreline, the better the chances of the Gold Coast are?
Well, I think the 20-minute football suiting the Gold Coast because they are very big men, and they're just taking it quarter by quarter by the looks of things. And Wally, as I mentioned at quarter time, said that that they've got to maintain their attack, keep going the one way, and then swing it back to the open side for their backs to create a bit of havoc. But I agree. I think the Gold Coast are well and truly in this, and we're in for a good 40 minutes of footy.
A good kicking game from both teams really needed now, and I suppose Lewis the man to really direct that, even though he is in the stand.
Yeah, well, Craig Weston hasn't got the biggest boot in the game, and early in that first quarter he was probably kicking a little bit short, and that's why Canterbury were camped in the Gold Coast half here for quite some time. So, I think he'd be looking at that, and with the breeze, we'd be looking for a longer kicking game. Very
hot out here. Is that going to play a role? The big man we see here, Martin Bella, he's feeling the heat. I suppose fatigue is going to play a role somewhere.
Yeah, well, he's a Queenslander. He shouldn't be feeling the heat too much. But, obviously, it is very humid down here. And, with the ball being slippery and also the jerseys being quite heavy, I think it's a great idea to get the jerseys off at quarter time and half time and have a break and get some of those fluids into them.
Well, we couldn't have a better football game here. Very close scoreline. Maybe another upset on the cards. We saw one on Wednesday night to see if the Gold Coast can pull off what would be a very good win over a very well-fancied Canterbury team. We'll be back with all the highlights of the second half after the break.
.30 Tuesday.
Nobody knows where my Johnny has been.
An all-new year of videos is here.
I thought we had a deal. No, cross up.
Australia's funniest home videos with Jo Beth Taylor.
Want to see me impersonating Mick Jagger?
Plus at 8, look who's got a problem playing Romeo.
I'm not kissing Thomas. It says it right here, they kiss. A big fat tongue sander.
And doing anything to impress.
Very sexy chicky boy.
In an all-new Altogether Now, Tuesday on 9.
It'll be much better if I get my meds. I won't be a moment.
Next time you make love, make sure your mates are there. Mates condoms.
Introducing Molly Meldrum on behalf of the Variety Club of Australia.
Hi, this Valentine's Day, make sure you've got a heart. A gold heart like this one. Because every gold heart you buy, or every $2 you give towards a gold heart, will go directly towards the Variety Club, helping the disadvantaged children in Australia. So have a heart and buy a gold heart and help the disadvantaged children in Australia.
Buy a gold heart for Valentine's Day and help the Variety Club help disadvantaged children in Australia.
It's the biggest paper clearance sale Ipswich has ever seen. Clay Pavements and Helen's Brickworks have combined to clear thousands of metres of end-of-run, off-colour and discontinued papers in a once-only giant clearance sale. Genuine savings this weekend only. Direct from the Brickworks. Paver seconds from $8.95 a metre. Run of kiln from only $12.95 a metre. Tiles from an incredible $5.95 a metre. At these prices, you'll have to hurry this weekend only. All weekend at Claypave, Dinmore and St Helens Abbeyvale.
Now if you want it, you know we've got it. And it doesn't really matter if it's old or new. When you're buying or selling, we're telling you. The Queensland Trading Post will do the most and save you money too. The Queensland Trading Post is the place for you. If you're buying, oh yeah, if you're selling, the Queensland Trading
Tuesday night. Don't miss super funny man Billy Connolly.
As smoked by Sir Winston Churchill and Martina Navratilova.
In his hilarious all-new comedy.
You're smoking a cigar, you're not sucking a tennis ball through a garden hole.
It's Billy and you'll love it.
No man ever stands so tall as one who pukes to help a child.
And at 9, Kelly gets a job.
Who is it she reminds me of?
Billy and Married with Children, 8:30 Tuesday on 9.
Welcome back. Nice to have your company wherever you're watching us all around Australia. Here at Lang Park, of course, no score between the Gold Coast and Canterbury and Paul Borton. The stats of that first 40 minutes of play.
Yes, and the big one down the bottom there, the errors. Both sides have made plenty. The Gold Coast, I'd like to suggest that all of those errors are handling mistakes, the 8 errors they've made. And Canterbury also made plenty, 13. That's what's costing Canterbury. Neither side is playing out their sets of 6. Plenty of missed tackles involved too there in the first half.
Gene Miles on the sideline. Have you had a chance to have a listen to what was said by both coaches there?
No, I didn't, Darryl, but I did catch Chris Anderson on the way off, and he seems pretty relaxed, pretty happy with things, and you know, he just seems to think that the four-quarter football will suit the Canterbury-Bankstown side.
Okay, comments from Gene Miles, and he'll be contributing right through the rest of this match from the sideline, bringing us up to date with any player changes. Coast will restart through Western, and really it's a really nice afternoon for football. The breeze has sprung up just slightly to make things a little cooler for the players out in the centre. It's quite warm when this game started, but just a slight breeze has kicked up now, and it's almost perfect for this time of the year, I guess you'd say, for football conditions. So this is Gillies now for Canterbury. Brings play outside the 20, looking for Bella. Bella takes it up, they meet him, but this time makes a good 7 or 8 metres before he's pulled down. And the referee already blowing the whistle in this second half of play. And he's certainly been blowing it right through the match, yet both sides yet to score.
Paul, I suppose with the 0-0 scoreline, even this far out, you're looking at the players who can change that. Quite a few on both teams. Ewan McGrady's certainly one of the spearheads for the Canterbury team. Does he look a touch maybe as though he's lost a yard, or is it just that the defences have woken up to how dangerous he is?
I don't think he doesn't look like he wants to get heavily involved too much. You know, his big go is getting that ball and running for holes. At this stage, he doesn't seem to want to do it. He's content to shovel and pass the ball out to his outside backs. I think later in the game, especially around the rucks, here he goes now, we will see him run a lot more.
Detroit Castle wearing 15 for Canterbury just made a very valuable run for that side, taking play almost down to the 20-metre line. And now it comes out through Dimmick. Dimmick right on the line is tackled. So the Coast under a bit of pressure now. Canterbury for the first time seem to have some momentum going in this game. And they're hitting the line pretty hard. Now the ball goes loose. Cleaned up pretty quickly though, but the referee will pull it up for the knock-on. So the scrum will pack around about 10 metres out, maybe 12 metres out from the Gold Coast line.
And there it was again, just look when it looked like the Bulldogs might be able to put some pressure on the Gold Coast line. Another drop ball.
It wasn't a bad pass, that one, I thought, but I really think that McCracken wasn't expecting it. In fact, the pass had put him in half a hole, and I just don't think he had the eyes on the ball. I thought the pass was going to be popped out at the last moment.
The Davies to feed for the Gold Coast. Again, the referee pulls it up from another scrum.
I think it's a shandy of letting that one go then. He finally pinged him.
It's a big penalty, that's for sure, or handover. Not a penalty situation, but a handover as Martin Bella takes it inside 10. And this is Canterbury's probably best chance.
Gordy Peters shovels it out quickly. And there's a real striving run there from Gavin Hill. And again, right on the line, Canterbury, but this defence from Gold Coast holding pretty well at the moment. But you get the feeling now if Canterbury can move it. Lamb straight away gets on to the man Gavin Hill, who or was it Troy Castle? Troy Castle goes over for Canterbury for the first points on the board, and it had to happen.
And some ordinary defence there. We saw Castle, he was set well before the play had been started. There you see him winding up. There's a lot of defence there, just an arm tackle. Might have been Horsnell who missed a tackle, and then just enough strength to get down under the post. But that tackle should have been made, Paul.
It's the luck of the game, Peter, isn't it? I mean, we saw in the first half, Ali Davies did 2 of them, and Manson reeled them forward. Now, that was line ball again, but the luck of the ball draw went against the Gold Coast in the first half, but that one went through. And Castle, he's a good player. Castle, he runs hard. In the first few minutes of this second half, he's been instrumental in getting the Bulldogs into that position with a couple of good runs and some feeble offence there from the Coast.
So Canterbury hoping to convert this one because it's the first points in the game in the second half. We'll go to Gene Miles in just a second. Wait for the kick to come. Gavin Hill, the kicker, he's right in front. He shouldn't have any trouble with this. There's no breeze to speak of that'll worry him, and it doesn't either. Well, Gene Miles, finally the deadlock broken, but it's taken us 43 minutes to do it.
Yeah, Darryl, and it was a fairly soft try also. You know, it was just a simple run off Terry Lamb, and you know, I think Brent Horsnell was at fault there. He just slipped off the tackle, so a very soft try to open the scoring tonight.
Here we see the try once again. The ball, it was fine, but it was just that one missed tackle, and from only 10 metres out, he had a good head of steam up, Castle. As Paul Vorton pointed out, he's a good player, and he's made an impact since he's come on as a replacement off the bench.
To Canterbury now, the Doggies a bit more bite in their play because those points on the board now as we see Jim Dimmock with a really good, hard, struggling run. He's taken play now out to the 40-metre line. Canterbury now running with a lot more purpose onto the ball, and this Coast defence is really going to have to hang on now.
Yeah, and the Coast defence not coming up as quickly as it was earlier in the game. We see 2 and 3 tacklers in there, and that's what they're going to need to maintain. But they're not rushing at the Canterbury player, taking the time away from them and cutting down the thinking time of certainly the likes of this man, Terry Lamb.
The Lamb puts it in the air, and Peacock, Danny Peacock chases it back, takes it in his in-goal area, runs it out to the field of play. Oh, and some big crunching defence there from Canterbury. They slam him down. So the Coast now under a lot of pressure to get away from their line. They had a lot of advantage as far as the territory went in the first half of this game. Steve Jackson has not given up since the first ball was kicked. Trying to run them out of the danger line. This time they're going pretty well. They've taken play midway between the quarter and a half.
Well, it's better running because they're getting over the advantage line. There's another mistake there made by the Coast to Western. Good pressure put on him by a Canterbury player. I think it was the lock forward in Jim Dimmock. And a turnover, and away they go, the Doggies, but another mistake.
Well, the Coast will come up with a chance then for Canterbury. They quickly restarted play, had the Coast still running back. One of the Coast players down. We'll come back to that in a second. The Coast centre field just about 11 metres out from the line. This is better play now. They take play outside the 20, outside that danger zone. Weston again, putting his boot to it. Scotty Wilson will cut that off. Picks it up nicely, comes across the field. The defence comes to him. They wrap him up and put him down with some pretty solid defence. But Scotty Wilson's played pretty well for Canterbury.
Put the ball back pretty well. Hasn't made a mistake as yet. He's been very safe under the high ball. He's had a good start to his new career with the Bulldogs.
Martin Bella. Well, Gene Miles, you get the feeling that Canterbury can sniff a victory now. They've got those first points on the board. They're running with a lot more purpose.
Yeah, they certainly are, Darryl. It's you know, it's the same old syndrome. Once you get over the line, you're hungry to get over again. And also, Terry Cook's recovered from that head knock, and he's taken the place of Robin Thorne, who seems to have a hamstring problem. And we see Brent Todd on the sideline ready to come on for. I'm not quite sure who he's coming for.
Great kick then from Canterbury.
Yes, Geordie Pete's kicking out of dummy half there as that replacement is made. Brenton Todd coming back on, captaining the side. Pete's getting out of dummy half, and it's an excellent place to kick the football from. Everybody is onside. He couldn't have placed that one any better, only a metre out. The scrum will be brought out another 9 metres and fed on the 10-metre line. It's Robert Tocco who's come off as a replacement. I've got to be critical of him. He was down for a couple of minutes there replacing a boot while the team were trying to bring the ball out from their own line. And to me, that's unforgivable, that a boot should come off. It should be strapped on that tight. There's no chance of that happening.
Brent Todd almost through the Canterbury defence. Takes it almost to the 20-metre line. To Horsnell. Back to Weston again for the kick. This time finding the line.
Not really the kick that Craig Weston was looking for. He was trying to drive the ball a lot deeper than that. And just swung around on it. As the replacements continue, that's Galea leaving the field. And really all that's done is give possession away 10 metres inside their own half. Certainly not as deep as the Gold Coast would have liked.
Again, we have an infringement coming out of the scrum, so it's continuing on from the other night. This scrum ruling for 1993. I'm told that it probably won't continue after the Tooheys challenge. That's been the word we've had from league headquarters at this particular stage, but it's still under trial, and John Quayle has stated he really wanted to give it a fair trialling. Davies now gets it onto Weston. Weston turns it back inside half break from Weston. Now they finally get to him. Lamb wraps him up. Plenty of help over the top and slam him down. To the coast, midway between the quarter and a half, grinding their way, having a lot of trouble with this Canterbury defence now. Very eager.
Well, they're very bunched, the Gold Coast as well. It's only now that we see Paul Martin coming out on the wing. He was the next man outside Terry Cook here. Very easy to contain an attacking team that are all spread in the centre of the field.
Well, they're not getting the numbers in the right spots. Just then they tried to throw it out. They had 3 running against 5 Canterbury defenders. You know, Graham Langlands wouldn't make a breakthrough there. Well, maybe he would. He's a legend.
Oh, they put it down. Brett Dallas just couldn't handle it.
Mistake, but good defence, good forcing defence there by Horsnell on that occasion. Knocked the ball out of Dallas's hand as he tried to get away. Look at Horsnell. Went at him and forced the mistake. Well done.
So this scrum now, Pax on the 10-metre line, out from Canterbury's line, fed by the Gold Coast. They should win possession. Gives them a great chance to hit back the coast now. Jason Hetherington in 14 is on for the coast. But look at this defensive Canterbury. They come out of it though. The coast straightening the attack up. So this is better stuff now. Good positional play from the coast. This is their best chance they've had. Turns it back inside to McCarthy. McCarthy muscles his way a couple, but the defence shoves him back over that 10-metre line. So they've really gone nowhere in 2. Herring, you can see how bunched the coast are, and now they lose possession. Well, Bartram barging run that went nowhere.
I think wrong option by the coast. They had a few men out wide on that occasion. They had them in there, and the ball should have gone out wide, but they're trying to play him in the middle.
But also on the second tackle there, Paul, when the ball came back to Ali Davies, he'd called players to get out there. There was Martin Bella and Ewan McGrady next to each other in defence. He was looking to put something on what was a fairly wide blindside, but couldn't get the numbers there. There wasn't enough urgency in the attack of the Gold Coast players.
Interesting player too, Jason Hetherington. He played in the local competition last year here in Brisbane for the Ipswich club. I had the pleasure of coaching him in the Brisbane Capital side that I had as a 5'8". And I'll tell you, he can play the game. A nippy, zippy little player and a good defender. Just made that tackle then.
That's that competition that you won last year, isn't it, Batty?
Undefeated in the coaching ranks.
That's that 3-team competition.
That was it. But we won all 5 games.
McGrady's kick down the ground is a good one, and Danny Peacock offers the mistake. 6-0 currently in favour of Canterbury.
It's on again. The Great Debate. Hewson versus Keating. And exclusive to 60 Minutes, an instant computer scorecard on the leader's performance. The Great Debate. Live and without commercial, Sunday 7:30 on 9.
Here's an offer too good to pass up. Trade in your old mower, working or not, on a new Victor at Harvey Norman, and we'll give you a guaranteed $20 to $60 trade-in. This offer won't last, so hurry.
The Giants, it's my #1 choice. It's time you made it yours.
Stock up with 100 Piper Scotch, $17.95. Gilby's Gin, $17.95. Carlop Vodka, $17.95. Australia's Premium Lager, Umundi, $22.95. Stanley 4-litre cask, $6.95. Great Western Champagne, $3.95. Cinzano 1 litre, $6.95. Heaven Hill Bourbon, $19.95. At these giant locations on the Golden Sunshine Coast, Toowoomba, and at these giant locations in Brisbane.
Over 5 million customers a year can't be wrong.
The Kings of the Sport return to Willowbank this Saturday night for the final round of the Castrol New Year Series. Glenn Micros from the US is locked in battle with Aussie champ Jim Reed for Winfield Top Fuel Championship points in a 4-car fiery Top Fuel blast. Plus European champ Steve Reed in a star-studded 230-mile-an-hour Top Alcohol showdown. Final round of the Castrol Series Saturday night at Willowbank. Qualifying from noon, first round of Top Fuel at 6. Bring the family.
Hi, this is Greg Evans. Thinking of romance? Thinking of flowers. Put them together and you've got the Hayes Toowoomba Romance Festival and Australia's Garden City, about to become Australia's romance capital. There'll be 9 days of fun, love and laughter with special events every day. Participating moteliers are offering special accommodation packages, and I'll be there during the week to find Toowoomba's perfect match. Love is in the air this February at the Hayes Toowoomba Romance Festival. For further details, contact the Toowoomba Events Corporation.
Only Hoover fridges are so well built, they carry a big 10-year warranty on the sealed refrigeration system, which covers all parts and labour. And it's a pity more household appliances don't.
Hoover, built to outlast.
The Playroom, Rock Headquarters.
Tear me apart in slow motion.
The Playroom, Rock Headquarters, Gold Coast.
On Monday, an extra special.
Live from Surfers, the quiet heroes of Careflight, a 99-year-old secret for long life, Jupiter's private rooms for high rollers, and we give you a chance to race our car at the Indy.
Join us Surfside at 5:30 for extra here on 9.
Scrum to go down 20 metres out.
They're the sort of mistake can make or break a team, aren't they? The Gold Coast just hanging on now. Canterbury have sort of asserted some authority the last 10 minutes, starting to look like a very good football side, and a mistake like that can really set the Gold Coast back.
And they've really set a big back line here. We've got Paul Doolan on the wing, probably 10 metres outside Paul Martin. McGrady looking to run it across field, picking up players, and it all came to nothing. Very ordinary set move there that came unstuck with Scott Wilson forced to take the tackle.
Centre of the ground, just outside the 20-metre line. This is Robert Ralph. Dummy half is Peets. This is Castle. He's really left a mark on this game since he came on. Back for Peets. They're 8 metres out from the line. Dummy half Scott Wilson. Lamb. Well contained tonight, Terry Lamb. He's made more mistakes in this game than he probably would make in a season of football. McGrady back inside for Dimmick.
They take a field goal here. No, they're dropping into the in-goal area. Looks like it's going to be a touch too deep. No, it's bounced up beautifully. Forced out by Martin, the winger for the Gold Coast, so they'll get the ball back. I thought Terry Lamb might have tried for the 7-point lead, but in the end, he just put through a lovely little kick. And possession will come back. Here we see the Gold Coast player forced to push it out just in front of the flying winger Paul Doolan for Canterbury.
Coming off is Brett Horsnell for the Seagulls. The line drop out to be taken by Ali Davis. So Canterbury will come back and attack the line with 6 tackles. Scott Wilson.
And I still think they will look for a field goal at some opportunity, Ray. 7-point lead. Canterbury are one team in the competition who do tend to kick a lot of field goals during a season. They like to think that they haven't wasted a trip down this end of the field. And Doolan, he's caught the ball but taken over the sideline. put a lot of pressure on him, that pass from Cassell.
I don't think the set of 6 went exactly according to the game plan. If in fact they were thinking of a field goal, they were working it to the extremes of the ground rather than wedging it back towards the centre. McCarthy. Robert Relf is back on for Simon Gillies. Etherington, as you know, is on for Weston. And Tocco has gone back on for Horsnell. So there's been a fair change of personnel in this game. Unlimited interchange coming from a 4-man replacement bench in challenge football.
Some desperation sneaking in once again at the Gold Coast game. Darren Wolan's trying to throw a miracle pass back inside. Wally Lewis very pensive in the stand. The team certainly aren't out of this. They're not doing themselves any favours by giving away cheap possession once again. Good feed.
Grady, Lamb. Lamb runs the angle for McCracken. McCarthy pulls down Terry Lamb, one of the most celebrated players in the game. Now McCracken. This is Gavin Hill. Bella. As you to run your mind across the number of New Zealanders playing in this competition. Lamb for McGrady, back inside for Cassell, put to ground, and the Gold Coast come up with the ball. But just to complete that comment, you run your eye across the number of New Zealanders in the Winfield Cup. If they all went back and played for Auckland in 1995, they'd have a very good side.
They win the comp for 10 years in a row.
Ooh, jolting tackle that on Robert Tocco. Now Todd goes up. There's Horsnell with the ice pack on a thigh muscle. Wallens 40 metres out from his own line. Last tackle. And the penalty goes to the Seagulls.
Well, this is a big call once again. Last tackle for the Gold Coast. They were going to have to kick the football. Man trying to get up and play the ball. Well, he's milked the penalty there. Jim Dimmick lying in the ruck area. It was difficult for him to get out, but he really didn't make any great attempt to as well.
Weston is back on the field. He found the line. Jackson takes it ahead. 6-0 in favour of Canterbury. Coming up towards the end of the third quarter. It's always been described as the quarter in which games are won and lost. For some reason, I don't know what it is, but it's the third quarter.
I think you started it back in 1974, didn't you?
I probably did. Weston.
I was watching. Penrith and West, wasn't it? The Western Districts, the MK Cup in Katoomba or something.
You were watching from your cradle.
You were playing.
Peacock. Hasn't had the opportunities tonight, Peacock, that he likes to get. He loves the open spaces. Ball in the air off the boot of Bartram, taken by Wilson. He's always been well positioned, Scott Wilson.
Yes, but it was a nothing kick, and it was an ordinary kick because the dummy half threw a poor pass out of that area and didn't allow the man who kicked the football time to put it in the right place. They have broken down there a fair bit from the dummy half area.
This is Hill. Geordie Peach obliged to take it up himself when everything else went wrong. Castle. Bella. Hasn't had the impact on the game, Martin, that I thought he might have. Terry Lamb now putting a bit of zip into his work. Ankle tapping tackle. Saved the Gold Coast because Lamb had some speedsters coming up fast on both sides. McGrady chips over the top. It lands on the 30-metre line. Rolls down to the 20. Peacock, with a touch of urgency, rakes it in. Gene Miles, it's been a more concentrated effort by Canterbury in this third quarter.
Yeah, it certainly has, Ray, and I agree with you that the third quarter is probably the most important quarter in four-quarter football, and I've been coached that way all my life. So, and Canterbury have backed that up by scoring early in the third quarter. And, you know, I think if the Gold Coast are to be in this match, they must score very early in the fourth quarter.
Gene Miles with comments from the sidelines, and it's been great to have him right through the night, Big Gino.
One of the greats of Queensland Rugby League.
Gee, made you look good a couple of times. There's Hetherington putting it down. There's the siren. They've got it working now. Young Dallas is put down. That's the end of quarter number 3. Canterbury leading the Gold Coast 6-0, but there's still 20 minutes of football to go. Can the Gold Coast come back and stay alive in the Tooheys Challenge of 93?
News is a 24-hour event. It's a global picture.
We've got the resources to be anywhere we want in the world, and we've got some of the greatest people.
You know that there's going to be quality. For example, the Californian earthquakes.
Oh my God.
It's immediate.
The sun's always coming up somewhere in the world, and there's always someone doing something that the world should know about, and we'll be there.
It's a team thing, isn't it?
Hello, Gary Hall, People Feeder. My company, Ribbits, will help you beat the mealtime rush with these super specials. Magnificent quality ribs in our own special ruby red sauce with half carrot, worth lots. Sell-out price $8.50. Handcrafted pizza base encrusted with stunning selection of fine toppings. It's truly supreme. Sell-out price $14. Where else could you buy home-delivered takeaway at these prices? Ribbits, the People Feeder. Massive quality food sell-out on now.
Metallica, awesome hard rock intensity in your city. Michael Koppel and Triple M present pure hard rock Metallica.
Never free, never me.
Catch them Monday, March 29 at the Entertainment Centre.
You know it's never, never land.
Metallica, live in Overdrive. Tickets go on sale Monday.
At Roger David, it's your last chance to pick up summer bargains like these. Double-breasted suits from only $159.95. A full range of business shirts, only $15.95 each. Pure wool suits from only $199.95. Plus 20% off all plot suits. Sports coats from only $99.95. Trousers from only $39.95. And leather jackets from only $179.95. It's your last chance to pick up a summer bargain at Roger David. Looking good.
If you thought owning a home with a resort lifestyle was out of your reach, then think again. Golden Downs is what you've been waiting for. This is Brisbane's most affordable, fully integrated resort community. There's a sports and social club, tennis court, bowling green, community workshop, and much more. Choose from a large range of home styles, all with individual options. Enjoy a resort lifestyle for the better years that's convenient and affordable. Golden Downs, Beams Road, Castledine.
Ready, set, save. Now's the time for fair dinkum February savings at Retrovision. Right now, save $201 on Panasonic 68cm stereo TV. Right now, a remote that controls both TV and video with NEC 63cm. Telecom's new Freedom 100 cordless phone, sleek style, fully featured. And right now, save $25 on Telecom's stylish slimline phone. So, where are you going right now? Retrovision. Buy anywhere else and you'll pay too much.
Welcome back to the final quarter of this game between Gold Coast and Canterbury. Scoreline, Canterbury 6, Gold Coast yet to score. Stats now after 3 quarters of football. Peter Sterling.
Yeah, it's a lot of errors there, Darryl, for both teams. Canterbury surprisingly leading that 17-12. When you have a look up at the scrum situation, the Gold Coast 11-6 means that they've had a lot of possession, but the fact that Canterbury have made less tackles shows that they have handed it over pretty cheaply. A couple of handovers there from scrums for both teams. 3 to Canterbury, 1 to the Gold Coast. And the missed tackles, fairly even. Not a bad performance from the Gold Coast. They had 7 missed tackles after the first half of football. So we've only seen, or first quarter of football, I'm sorry. We've only seen 9 in the next 40 minutes.
So both sets of players just about out on the field. We'll go to Gene Miles for his comments. He's been to both camps, having listened to what the coaches have had to say.
Yeah, Darryl, Wally has got an injury problem with Troy McCarthy. He's got a groin problem, and also Robin Thorne with a hamstring problem. So he's short on staff. So what he wants to do is the rest of the team to direct their attack at Terry Lamb and Ewan McGrady. He sees a weakness there in their defence, so it'll be interesting to see if they follow that out.
Juggling act that time round from Canterbury. Took the ball and just juggled on the fingertips. Gino, that's a bit of a shame too, because McCarthy was playing pretty strongly.
Yeah, he was, Ray, and as Fatty said, I was surprised he wasn't in the starting lineup also. He's played very well for him over a couple of years, and he just said to me then, I was talking to him at three-quarter time there, that he just felt it go, and it's just one of those things with a groin injury, you can't play on with it.
I'm the one with the smaller nose. Canterbury now through McGrady. McGrady, half a bust. Centre field. Lamb. McGrady and Lamb, they're going to run at them. So that's an interesting tactic. Peacock brings it back. A little bit more room to move. Unloads two. So Peacock that time with a strong return.
Well, you wouldn't change what has been successful for you. The Gold Coast have made quite a few busts on the fringe of the ruck. Terry Lamb, as we pointed out, has missed a couple of uncharacteristic tackles. Every now and then McGrady drifts up into the line, and he's probably a man that they will really aim their attack at, especially on the blind side, Darryl. I think that there's a chance there where McGrady does position himself on quite a few occasions.
So something for you at home to watch for during this game, and it's great when we can have someone like Gene Miles that gets round to the coaches and has a listen to what's been said and set it up for you at home to keep your eye on it as well. So the Coast lucky to hold on the possession there. Terry Cook really working his way those couple of metres. Back it comes for the kick again, so they're definitely showing their hand. But again, Scott Wilson in really good position. The pump though goes down hard.
Paul, first attempt for Canterbury, a field goal.
7-0 lead would be handy, wouldn't it? A bit of a psychological advantage when you get that 7 points in front and you've got 10 minutes to go. You really tend to pull all stops out, and I think that'll be all over for the Coast if that happened. But they've got to get to the other end of the field first, and the Gold Coast are defending pretty well.
So Castle certainly being strong. Scored that try for Canterbury, posting first points on the board. McGrady now. Bounces just inside that 20-metre line. Picked up, though, pretty easily by Adrian Bowles. He brings it back. So the Coast desperate to just get some points on the board. Paul Martin. Brent Todd onto Weston. They'll wrestle him down about 45 metres out from the coastline. And 16 for the Coast. Had a headgear on earlier, has taken that off. I guess it's pretty warm wearing one of those tonight, but this man's still wearing his. Davies darting around, now unloads it. Be lucky to pick it up through Paul Martin, stabs it down to Scott Wilson. Wilson winds up. They wrap him up though, 30 metres out. Dallas. The Canterbury seem to make easier metres from that area of ground to play the ball in the ruck area, Pete, to me.
Well, they probably have a little bit more variety there with the creative players they have up front and in their inside backs. And I do stress once again, now that the Gold Coast aren't coming up as quickly, there's more momentum for the Canterbury team. When you're not moving up, you tend to miss a few more tackles. We just saw one off Terry Lamb there. Good tackle on McCracken. Ball had gone loose. But I think that's a good option as well, looking to keep the ball alive on the last tackle. I think that's the first time we've seen it tonight, really.
McCracken went down hard. See it?
Well, that's just very good defence there by Viles. Look at that for a hit. McCracken didn't have the ball in his hands, but he went through, once again, put his body right on the line.
So the coast attack away, still inside their own half, around about 42 metres out. Ball Galea. Bartram spills it back, and that's Jason Hetherington.
Well, lucky penalty to the case there. Hetherington looked like he nearly knocked that on. But Manson playing the advantage, saw that Canterbury up inside the 5 metre zone.
It's an unusual advantage here. That look how far that pass has gone backwards. He's got to be 15 metres from where the defence is.
Yeah, it was a big one.
So Bartram recommences. It goes to Brent Todd. Brent Todd hard and straight, 4 or 5. They're 11 metres out the coast. Chance to equalise here if they can score in a good position. First, they've got to get it over that line. Doing it they can now. Running with a lot of purpose. Best chance they've had in a long time, the coast. Goes to Davies. Through he goes. This defence from Canterbury holds, though. Underneath, big Brokenshire. Using the back line. They turn it back inside. Canterbury just managed to get there, though, and pull him down by the jumper. Right in front of the post. Wallens. Final tackle. They've used him up pretty quickly. Almost over. And there. Well.
No, it's a handover. He's been pulled up short.
The crowd's gone up.
King's not happy about it.
No,
But,
shake of the head there.
I felt a bit greedy that played in from dummy half. They had a bit of space out here to the right. He bumped off 1 or 2 there and tried to get over. His body was over the line. And Terry Cook, the ball wasn't.
Well, the widest man on the far side of the field, apart from the winger, was Mark Brokenshire. So that's really where the Gold Coast needed to attack. But they also didn't have enough troops there as well. They were very bunched. I think they were all looking for the kick. In the end, as Paul pointed out, a fairly selfish play from Cook coming out of dummy half.
So Ralph run it out for Canterbury. They're about 22, 23 metres out. Hill, they lose the ball again. Picked up by Weston. Weston scoots away. They grab him. So possession. Changing hands pretty quickly here. Both sides trying to gain what advantage they can with some quick play of the ball and using the back line as quickly as they can. But the defence of both sides holding pretty well. Todd.
Very bunched the Gold Coast once again. Craig Weston, well, you see him on the fringe of the ruck there. He's the widest player on the open side of the field. And that's very easy to combat. You just compress your defence, and it's like a brick wall trying to get through. You've got to spread wide to try and open something up inside and out.
So Herring. Nice tackle again. Goes still about 15 out. Comes on to Davies. Up it goes. Sky ball, that one. Handballed over. Picked up by Dallas. Dallas runs it out. They grab him. Fling him down. Terry Cook the tackle that time. So Canterbury right on their line now. They get a penalty as they wave. As the referee waves the Gold Coast back.
And Cook undid his good work there. It was a nice tackle. He grabbed Dallas, flung him to the ground and dragged him backwards a couple of metres, trying to get him back over the try line, but then he held him down. Just got to get up and get off the man, let him play the ball. Canterbury's no one in Canterbury in sight. Well, they're not going anywhere.
That's right. He wants a quick play of the ball there, doesn't he? So that Canterbury are really going to have to sacrifice another cheap play.
Well, we talked about conditions. We've talked about it right through the Tooheys Challenge. Gino, you know this ground and the climate up here better than most. It's pretty breezy where we are in the commentary box. What's it like ground level?
Yeah, it's okay down here, Darryl, but obviously we haven't played 3/4 of football, and it's you can notice the side that's called on to do the defensive work has got a lot of walkers in it, so obviously the players are feeling the pinch now.
So Troy Castle again takes play midway between the half and the quarter. Canterbury starting to get a bit of a roll on now. Looks for Lamb. Lamb turns it back inside for Darren Smith. Too much defence from the coast, though. Again, that gang tackle coming. They wrap him up, Smith. Out for Lamb again, directing traffic. This time goes there. Cops 1-2 from Wallens as he goes down, but he's okay. So the coast yet again have to run it out from the line. This is Peacock. there's a bit on. There's a bit of El Biffo on now. But, we talked about the temperature on the ground. Well, it's reached boiling point from the players. Too much damage done. Lots of swinging going on. It's not too much connection. A little bit of push and shove. That's about all.
There's a couple may have connected there. McCracken and Danny Peacock were the opening combatants in that before a couple of players got involved from each team. I think Danny Peacock objected to something that went on in the tackle. A fairly fierce one from McCracken, pulling him to the ground. Here we see it here. Pulls him down, well, onto the knees. It would have hurt. And there's the left hook. Wasn't too far away from connecting down.
Yeah. Well, on another look, I think I'm glad I'm sitting up here.
Well, Peacock threw 34 punches, not one of them connected.
Doesn't that bring memories back, Fatty?
So scoreline now, Canterbury 6, still over the Gold Coast, yet to score.
For the first time on television, complete and uncut.
Godfather?
The Godfather.
This is one favor I can't give him.
Winner of 3 Academy Awards.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
Outstanding performances from Marlon Brando.
You can act like a man!
Al Pacino.
It's not personal. It's strictly business.
And James Caan.
Will you just do what I tell you to do?
Experience a motion picture masterpiece. The Godfather.
How did things ever get so far?
First time complete and uncut. 8:30 tonight on 9.
Take me to the top. This is the place I love, Terranora Lakes Resort and Country Club.
380 pokies return up to 95% cash.
Yes, Terranora.
Drive up or catch a coach to the tops in pokies.
Take me to the top, Terranora Lakes
Country Club and Resort.
Take me to the top.
Now if you want it, you know we've got it. And it doesn't really matter if it's old or new. When you're buying or selling, we're telling you. The Queensland Trading Post will do the most and save you money too. The Queensland Trading Post is the place for you. If you're flying, oh yeah, if you're selling, the Queensland Trading
Nobby! Kitchens, Nobby Kitchens, prices are falling.
And falling fast, John. Don't pay $6,000 now, drop to $3,500. All Nobby Kitchens are Australian-made and have a full 5-year written warranty. Nobby quality solid timber kitchens. Don't pay $8,000, prices have fallen to $5,000. Nobby for over 50 years, Australia's #1 kitchen manufacturer. Nobby Kitchens, Annerley, Aspley and the Gold Coast, 848-8288. Open 7 days.
Nobby, prices are falling. You'd be nuts to miss it.
Queensland's favourite home builder, G.J. Gardner Homes, now offers new house and land packages. All brick and tile homes from $156 per week, house and land, or built on your land from $65 per week. This is a strictly limited offer. From the Gold Coast to Brisbane, Sunshine Coast to Wide Bay, and to Gladstone in the north. Don't wait. Contact your nearest G.J. Gardner Homes display.
There's no place quite like Twin Towns, always a friendly welcome here.
Australia's greatest singer, Julie Anthony, performs her new one-woman show, Just Julie, this week at Twin Towns Services Club. From Phantom of the Opera to covers of songs from Farnham and Braithwaite, Julie will enthrall you with her magnificent voice. Book now for Julie Anthony at Twin Towns.
Everybody wins at Twin Towns.
So, Danny Peacock is the man getting the lecture here.
He could cost them the game here. I mean, a penalty and a kick from Hill or Lamb, 8-0, it's all over. I mean, I thought it was an accident too, the incident. I mean, when McCracken pulled Peacock down onto his knees, just an accident. And the penalty's gone Canterbury's way. They're going to have a shot for goal and try and wrap the game up.
Well, Gavin Hill is about 10 metres in from touch, and he's on the 20-metre line, so it's not out of the question for Gavin Hill. He's a very proficient kicker. 6-0 currently to Canterbury. 9.5 minutes of the match remaining. Darryl Eastlake making his way now down to the ground level for the MMI Man of the Match award.
Be a hard decision, Ray. Gene Miles might win it on the sideline.
What about David Manson?
Oh.
Gavin Hill.
He scored 80 points last year, Gavin Hill, in the Winfield Cup, and he's a very good goal kicker.
Well, there he is, right on the intersection of the 20-metre grid line, as it's called these days. And he's 10 metres in from touch. Sunday we go down to Ballina, and a couple of very attractive matches, Balmain, Illawarra and Manly and Lewis. I'll tell you more about that as we close the show tonight. Gavin Hill. Can he take Canterbury well and truly out of the reach of the Gold Coast? He can't. Ali Davis is going to be forced in goal. It'll be a line drop out, so the Doggies will get it back for 6.
The next best thing, wasn't it? Trapping the Gold Coast side in their 18-goal area. And Terry Lamb, the master tactician that he is, why wouldn't you just work a few in here for a field goal? That'll wrap the game up. 7-0's as good as 8.
Said it earlier on, but I think it's worth saying again. Whoever the man is that prepares Lang Park, my goodness, he's done a great job with the preparation of this ground for tonight's challenge. Lamb playing it. Peach is the dummy half. Gavin Hill, he wants it and he takes it up, but Horsham will hit him with everything. This is Robert Ralph.
Yeah, one more back to the left here, and then we'll go for the field goal.
Gillies.
Well, left now, a couple of passes. That's got to be the play.
Geordie Peach back for McGrady. The run around with Lamb, and Castle coming up flat. He puts it down. Peacock. Herring. Peacock again. Away from Peach. Wrapped up by Rill. Jackson. Big Jacko, he's put it down as well.
He's tried hard, Steve Jackson. I think he has been their best player when he's been on the field. He and Brent Todd have led the way for them as another replacement.
That's Jimmy Sedaris.
And he's running on, I think it's for the first time all night, Ray, isn't it? 6 minutes to go.
Yeah, Cassell comes off, Sedaris goes on. He'll pack into the second row, Sedaris. He's another good young player that Canterbury has bought this year. Gillies. Tremendous season for him last year, Simon Gillies. Now Sedaris. Ooh, swinging arm in the tackle from Hetherington. Gavin Hill bounces off a shoulder that went wrong. McGrady. Grady trying to do it himself. Lamb followed him. Lamb's caper. He really loves to follow somebody through and capitalise on that work. Great supporter of the ball carrier. Jim Sedaris. South Sydney to Canterbury. Now Scott Wilson on the blind side. Doolan can't take it, but it went backward. Scoops it away, but the referee has ruled tackled and turnover. 5 minutes of time remaining. And this was Doolan losing it behind him. He recaptures, but then a hand is placed on him. And that's all that has to happen when a player in possession is on the ground, is have a hand placed on him, and it constitutes a tackle. So Manson was quite right there.
Could also have constituted a penalty there, passing off the ground, trying to keep the ball alive.
Davis. Hetherington. This is Weston. I had a feeling that Canterbury were eager to buy Craig Weston. You know how much goes on in the silly season, your mind gets clouded, but I thought I read where Weston was being spoken to by Canterbury.
They tried very hard to get him. So did a lot of clubs. I believe that Eastern Suburbs tried to get both the Weston brothers. Craig's got a brother called Steve, and they missed out, and the Gold Coast managed to hang on to them.
Darren Smith.
And Bullfrog doesn't miss out on too many, does he?
He does not. Broken shear.
And he's come up, of course, with, I think, will be one of the buys of the season in Luke Goodwin, who has been suspended for this game after mouthing off the referee during the sevens comp.
Grady. Straight across the face and picking up Gillies. I still wish Ewan would run himself a bit more. Lamb putting it down for Peacock 10 metres from his own line. Draws the defence and offloads. But really, it was a pass that needn't have been thrown. Bartram, I think, would agree with that. In fact, it was Martin. This is Cook. 6-0 in favour of Canterbury. It's not over yet, but it's very close to the fat lady singing. 3.5 now. A bit of push and shove there, but nothing to even report on. Now Todd tackled out on the 30-metre line, but the penalty goes against Canterbury for being offside at the play the ball. Davis taking the line finder. So close to the line, impossible to gain too much from it. Here's Jacko. Steve Jackson scored that memorable try in the grand final when he wore the green of Canberra. And of course to the Magpies before the Gold Coast. Davis with a beautiful dummy. Then he cuts through inside the 30. Ran out of support. What support there was had already gone. Now turned away by Jackson. Knocked on though. Knocked on by Robert Tocco.
Oh, bad luck. Beautiful break there by Davies. Had no support. Where were they? You know, this is where they're looking for a try. And Jackson turned the ball back inside. Now, did he drop that? Did it come off his knees?
No, his hands were there, Paul.
Yep.
A little bit unfortunate. If he could have just got the toe to it, the Canterbury player came up with it.
I don't want to get into an argument here, but I reckon the head-on might have revealed something else had happened. 11-7, that penalty count there.
And there's one against the feet.
Oh,
this could be crucial.
Chance here for the Gold Coast. This is Hetherington. Stands in the tackle and away from Terry Lamb.
Oh, he learnt well last year. What a player.
12 metres out from the Canterbury line. Here's Martin. 7 metres out now. Hetherington. Away from Horsnell. Beautiful pass for Weston. 1 minute and 22 to go. Davis. Wrapped up by Sadara. Penalty goes to the Gold Coast. He says play on.
Good tap was taken by Davis.
Now, away from Jackson. Wallens out for Terry Cook.
They've got numbers here. They've got about 4 on 3.
Cook to play the ball. Chance here for the Seagulls out wide on the right. Weston for Martin. Oh, good tackle by Doolan. Penalty, Canterbury this time.
Oh, Martin's goosed himself. Paul Martin in the tackle. Like, 30 seconds to go on the second tackle. He's come up with an incident. Didn't like the tackle. It's a nice ball, short ball. Just a good legitimate hit there by Doolan. An accidental knee in the tackle, and Martin wanted to go on with it with elbows, and stupid. He's kidding.
Well, it's the unforgivable offence, isn't it?
Oh, it's cruel. I mean, it should be in second grade next week for doing that.
Well, maybe he would, but there is no second grade.
There it is, all over.
That's the end of the ball game. Canterbury, in a grinding encounter, have beaten the Gold Coast by 6 points to 0. Canterbury 6, Gold Coast no score. And so Canterbury will go on now to the round of 8 in the Tooheys Challenge with over $700,000 in prize money being distributed. Terry Lamb, he's a great little player. He would admit that tonight wasn't his best, but he played very strongly nevertheless in other departments of the game other than his handling being off and his defence, of course, a fraction lacking, but his leadership qualities always to the fore. Let's go down to Darrell Eastlake for the Man of the Match award, made possible by MMI Insurance.
Yeah, thanks very much, Ray. Well, Scotty Wilson has taken the award tonight. We thought that your positional play was exceptional tonight, and you brought off some really good tackles when the pressure was on.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised to get it. Actually, Barr wanted to win it. He just lost his job, so I've probably got to give some money to his kids. But I was pleased with my positional play, but I think in a couple of other areas I can still improve on.
Scotty, it's been something we've talked about, of course, being so early in the season and a lot of humidity in the air, but again, a lot of drop ball.
Yeah, that balls are really, really slippery, especially like the new jumpers with the sponsors' names on them and things. I think that attributes to it a lot. They're just really slippery, the balls.
And a lot of pressure from the Gold Coast there in the dying minutes of the game.
Yeah, oh, bloody hope, mate. They were right on our line for about 12, 18 tackles. I didn't think we were going to hold them out, but luckily, you know, we did it. Luckily, we've improved our defence tonight because we weren't much top in attack.
And finally settling in with the doggies okay.
Yeah, mate, it's great. I love it there, you know. Like I say, best club I've been to so far. I'm really enjoying it.
All right, well, Scott Wilson from MMI Insurance, $500 for you for the Man of the Match. Congratulations, and we certainly hope the rest of the season goes as well as it did tonight for you.
Thanks, Dale, and thanks to MMI. Great, thanks.
There he is, a pretty happy fullback from Canterbury. Ray Warren, back to you.
Yeah, I'm always very pleased to see Scott Wilson do something like he did tonight on the rugby league grounds. He's had his little bit of a hollow in his career, but he's back now. That's good. There's the footy tab dividend. It's a handsome one, $861.95. With Canterbury beating Gold Coast by 6 points to 0. On Sunday, the Tooheys Challenge moves to Ballina, and game 1 is Illawarra, the defending title holders, against Balmain. That is at 4 p.m. Eastern on television. Eastern summertime, that is. Game 2, Manly and North on television. The highlights at 6:30 Eastern summertime, with a full replay of the Sea Eagles and the Bears at 11:10. For now, from Lang Park, it's good night, everyone.
He's trying to run it around. Oh, they didn't come up. Coming out the power. He's put one around the corner. Oh, what a great ball. And he's going all the way. Long ball. They've got the overlap. It's a try. Goes for it again. Door driven back. Throws it willy-nilly. Now the ball comes loose. Turns back the other way. Good ball. And it